And the angel stood before the woman who was ready to give birth to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she bore a male child who was to rule all the nations with an iron rod. And her child was caught up to God and his throne. Okay? That is Christ. All throughout Scripture, what has Satan been trying to do? Ever since he was judged, when he caused Adam and Eve to fall, back in back in Genesis 3, verse 15, when he says, you will bruise his heel, but he will bruise your head. Ever since that time, what has Satan been trying to do? Destroy the Christ, has he not? We've seen it all throughout. From the time he entered into Cain to kill Abel, from the time he tried to get all the Hebrews killed in Exodus, from the time that he had Herod to destroy all the boy babies, what has Satan been trying to do? Stop God's plan. The only way he can stop it is get rid of the Christ. And when he lost at the cross, when his back was broken at the cross, then what did he do? He tried to attack the church. Okay. Have a little time and a lot to cover, so let's go on. Verse 7. And war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon. And the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, or was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out. Now, as we said, Satan was cast out from his position a long, long time ago. That's when he had a third of the angels with him. But as we said, he could still go back and forth. Now he's cast out permanently. This probably initiates the second 3.5 years. The first 3.5 years was bad enough. Now it is all hell on earth. That's when Satan realizes that all his plans have failed. That's when Satan realizes that his back has been broken. And it says, in verse 9, it says, so the great dragon was cast out, that Satan was called the devil, and Satan, who deceives the whole world, and he cast to the earth, and his angels were cast with him. Now, Satan right now realizes he's only got a little bit of time left. His back has been broken, he's wounded, and he's cornered. Now, when you take an animal, a vicious animal, and you wound them and you corner them, what is that animal going to do? He's going to fight. He has nothing left to lose. He's going to fight for his life. That's what Satan is doing at this time. He's fighting for his life. He realized his back is broken. He's cornered. Everything he's been trying to do all throughout the ages, he finally realized that he was just a part of God's plan too. Did you ever stop to think about that? God was using him to carry out his plan the whole time. Satan thought he was going to kill the Christ and take over, and come to find out, he was just a tool in God's toolbox. So Satan is holding nothing back now. This is just the last few days of the tribulation period. The battle of Armageddon, whatever you want to call it. This is when Satan unleashes all of his fury. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now salvation, strength, and kingdom of our God, the power of his Christ, have come to the accuser and our brother who accuses them before God. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of his testimony, and they did not love them unto death. Now, when Satan is cast out of heaven, no longer can he go back into heaven. His back is broken, he's wounded, and he's going to come down and fight with every ounce of his being. All hell now is turned loose on the earth. And who does he come against? He's lost to God, but now who's he going to come against? The people of God. And what does it say right here? Or he's going to kill a bunch of them. It says that they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. What does that mean? The blood always overcomes. How else did they overcome? By their testimony. How else did they overcome? Now these are the people who are on earth. God's people who did not take the mark of the beast on earth. They overcame by the blood, they overcame by the testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death. What is it saying there? They weren't afraid to die. And it goes on and says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. Satan, I don't know whether he knows he's lost or not. But as I said, he's wounded. He's cornered. And he has a very little time. Verse 13, it goes on now. When the dragon saw that she had been cast to earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the child. But the woman was given 2 wings, a great eagle. And what happens to the country of Israel at this time? They were given 2 wings. What have you heard that before? How was the Egyptians, how were the Israelites delivered from the Egyptian army back? On eagle's wings. So God is still taking care of them. Now, this opens the part where, in back in the Olivet Discourse in verse 16 of chapter 24 of Matthew, where he says, when you hear about this is the great tribulation. When you hear about this, if you're out in the field, don't go back and get your coat. If you're on the rooftop, don't even go back down through the house, jump off the roof and run. That's the time that we're entering right now. So the serpent spewed out water from his mouth like the flood after the woman, that might cause her to be carried away by the flood. So what did Satan do? Spewed out water from his mouth. Now whether this was a flood of persecution, whatever the case may be. He says, but the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened the mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, to keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Okay? Some kind of way Israel gets some help. Where it comes from, I don't know. God has a sanctuary for them. This is where, go over to Matthew and read the part where it says, when you were hungry, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visited me. We think that's a book on humanitarianism. Well, it is. But that's where that series of verses come from. It's a people, it's a tribute to the people who helped the Jews during the Great Tribulation period. And when the Jews were hungry, they clothed them. When they were in prison, they visited them. When they were sick, they helped them out. That's where that verse came from. That is included in the Olivet Discourse. Okay, and it says about these offsprings, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Who is that? You go back to Zechariah chapter 13, that's the 1/3. Remember what happened to 2/3 were killed? This is the final 1/3 who make it all the way through the tribulation. Anything we talked about this morning? And next week we're going to be in chapter 21, I believe, are we not? That will be the new heaven and the new earth. The judgment is gone. The tribulation is over. That will be after Christ comes again to deliver these 1/3.